How's it going, guys? This is going to be video number 2 and my little mock draft series. This is my second mock draft that I came up with so far this year, and it'll bound to change. I'll release more as we go on, but this is going to be picks 6 through 10, as I did 1 through 5 yesterday, highlighting Houston through Oakland's picks, and today I'll be highlighting Atlanta's, Tampa Bay, Minnesota, Buffalo, and Detroit's picks in this video. And this one might be a little bit shorter, or it might be the same length, depending. But the reason why I say it might be shorter is because the intro is going to be shorter than last time. But where it might be the same length is because I'll be talking about the Minnesota Vikings pick, which happens to be my favorite team, and you guessed it, I like talking about my favorite team and what they should do. And I'm very opinionated about that pick, but we'll get to that when we get to pick number 8. But first, let us start off with pick number 6 in the Atlanta Falcons. I do believe that the Atlanta Falcons should pick offensive tackle Greg Robinson out of Auburn. That's the number 6 pick. And it's kind of, with the offensive tackles, I had Jake Matthews going 2 to St. Louis. If Greg Robinson is an extreme possibility for St. Louis. If Greg Robinson gets taken at number 2, Jake Matthews at number 6. I feel like you can interchange those two. They're the 2 best offensive tackles in the draft. I think so. A lot of people are talking about Atlanta improving their defense. That offensive line was so bad. That was one of the worst in the NFL last year while watching them. They've got to get an offensive tackle. Have to. Unless it was the case that I wouldn't personally do this if I was whoever's in charge in Atlanta. If Jadeveon Clowney does not go number 1 overall, do you trade St. Louis at the number 2 pick to draft up to get Jadeveon Clowney? Might be worth it. I can kind of see where you're coming from in that angle. I would still say save, get offensive line, strengthen up that offensive line. All right, now that we've taken care of Atlanta, time to move on. Number 6 pick in the 2014 draft. I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will pick Taylor Lewan. Now, I have Taylor Lewan up 2 spots. I had originally had him going to Buffalo, but after this is post-combine mock draft, they were talking about he was very mobile, very athletic for a big guy. I don't know his exact measurements, but they were talking about how he's very, very athletic offensive tackle. And it's another thing with Tampa Bay. They're talking about just strengthening up the defense side of the ball. But I thought they had a pretty good defense. I mean, they just signed a linebacker on a 1-year deal today, and they have Levante David and Gerald McCoy and Darrelle Revis, Eric Reed. I mean, I think they're pretty well off on defense. Strengthen off the offensive line. I mean, the thing with offensive line is, I mean, you can always improve it. Every team seems to be searching for a good offensive line, but I think if they get this, Mike Glennon if they get Taylor Lewan, Mike Glennon can really prove himself whether he's going to be good or bad. I don't think a quarterback would be smart. Mike Glennon, he didn't do bad, he didn't do good. I think he's still pretty unproven, and he's still a work in progress. So we got done with Tampa Bay. Wow, I'm just flying through these. Okay, I can talk a little bit a while. This is number 8, my favorite team, Minnesota Vikings, as you can see up there. And I got this little cup. Got a lot of Minnesota Viking things. This is what I think the Minnesota Vikings should do. With the 8th pick, I think they should pick outside linebacker Khalil Mack from Buffalo. Now, I have little sections on each of my mock drafts of players that I'm absolutely in love with, and Khalil Mack is at the top of that list. Mainly because Vikings need a linebacker, and I just have a good feeling on him. He tied the NCAA record with most forced fumbles in a year, I think. And I think he was MAC defensive player of the year too. Real great. He had like a pick 6 against Ohio State earlier this year that I saw, and he just measures out on a linebacker that is just going to be like a face of a defense, basically, whoever gets him. There's been a lot of talk recently since his combine and pro day really boosted his stock that he might go to like the Jaguars or the Buccaneers or the Falcons. Couldn't think of that right there, even though I just talked about him. Which I'm preparing myself for the worst that he gets taken out before him. But if he falls number 8, I think it's a no-brainer. He's my top linebacker off the board, and it makes so much sense. And so many people are talking about how Minnesota needs a quarterback. If it ends up happening that they draft Blake Bortles or Johnny Manziel, you just doom the franchise for another 3 years like you did with Ponder. It's those two quarterbacks. I am like totally convinced the Vikings get them. So bye-bye to playoff chances, let alone a Super Bowl, even though we've been searching for that for 40-odd years. But even Teddy Bridgewater, he might get us to the playoffs like once, but not going to be the answer. We had the worst defense in the league last year, we being the Vikings, and I just think it's smart. If Khalil Mack's off the board, I doubt Anthony Barr is going to be gone. I would pick Anthony Barr if he's whatever linebacker is available. If they're both gone, it's kind of tough to say. We need defensive linemen. We need a cornerback. Justin Gilbert might be another option. But as of now, with the way my picks are shaken down, Khalil Mack, number 8 to the Vikings, makes total sense for me. I'd be in love with that. I would leave wherever I was watching the draft smiling. All right, now that we got the Vikings underway, we can move on to pick number 9. And that was, who is that? Pick number 9 is the Buffalo Bills. Now, going back to Khalil Mack, people are too in love with this whole Khalil Mack playing for the Buffalo Bulls, so he's going to go play for the Buffalo Bills. That's like blocking them from like really thinking, because they're like putting, oh, the Vikings are going to draft Teddy Bridgewater or Blake Bortles before they draft Khalil Mack, because I want to put Khalil Mack with the Bills because it's so cool how that's going to turn out if that's the case. No, that's stupid in my opinion. But I have them going in the same direction. I have them picking Anthony Barr. I can't believe I haven't said it yet. But I have the Buffalo Bills picking Anthony Barr at number 9. They need another linebacker to match up with Kiko Alonso. Kiko Alonso, what a year he had last year. He was awesome. Rookie sensation. And maybe Anthony Barr is going to be another one. He's only played linebacker for like halfway through his career at UCLA. He switched over. I can't remember what he was before. He was like a running back, I think. But they get Anthony Barr. You got someone on the other side of Kiko Alonso. They'll have a very good defensive foundation because they got Mario Williams too. They re-signed Jarius Byrd, but I don't know what's going on with him. Whether it's on good terms or they just I don't know what's going on. But they're gonna have a really good defense, and if I guess EJ Manuel keeps progressing forward instead of backwards, the Buffalo Bills will be better. It's still a work in progress, obviously, but I think Anthony Barr is a very good piece that they can work around. And yeah, that's about it for the Buffalo Bills. And for the final pick in today's video, be number 10 Detroit Lions. And this is another pretty interesting pick. But at number 10, I have the Lions selecting Justin Gilbert out of Oklahoma State. They really need to, since they lost Darius Slay, they need another cornerback. Their secondary is in shambles. I mean, they got a good defensive front, and they have Reggie Bush, Matthew Stafford, Calvin Johnson, and a pretty good offensive line. So I don't think it would make much sense to strengthen up their offense. I think the defense side of the ball is what they need. But they're talking about how they're really falling in love with Sammy Watkins. And Sammy Watkins, if you've been watching this video and my past video, hasn't been picked yet. And that's mainly because I can't find a spot for Sammy Watkins. I think the Lions, it would behoove them to pick Justin Gilbert and a quarterback. But if Sammy Watkins is still available at number 10, I feel like Detroit's going to take it. And that's going to be a scary combination, Sammy Watkins and Calvin Johnson. Because Sammy Watkins, he's going to be a stud. But I think the cornerbacks is the smarter decision. Even if I think it would be dumb for the Lions to trade up for Sammy Watkins. I don't think it would be worth it at that point, because if you don't get Sammy Watkins, if he gets drafted before them or before you get to pick, you still got Justin Gilbert. Even if Justin Gilbert gets taken, you got Darqueze Dennard, which I guarantee you one of those two cornerbacks is going to be available at number 10. And yep, that should conclude my day 2. Is just under 10 minutes here, so a little bit shorter not too bad. I thought I was going to talk about the Vikings pick a little bit more, and I probably will, after I get done with my first round, release a separate video just for the Vikings, because I am pretty in the know about what the team's needs and what isn't our needs. So again, thank you if you managed to stumble upon this video and watch all 10.5 minutes of it about some guy you don't even know talking about football. I really appreciate it. If you want to discuss anything in the comments, I will be more than happy to. If you post it, I'll see it, and I'll probably give you my 2 cents. Let's just make sure it's constructive and not destructive criticisms if you have any. And yeah, I just love talking about football, and if you want to talk about something, I'll be more than happy to. So I should, maybe not tomorrow. We're gonna try for definitely Sunday. Maybe Monday. So don't be surprised if it's Monday, but I'll try to do something. I think I should be able to get it on Saturday, but you might have to wait a little bit for picks 11 through 15. Well, anyways, I rambled on there for a long time. Thanks again. I'll see you.